going to be sort of a double tutorial using the Colourpop and Karrueche. Am I saying that correctly? I really hope that I'm not butchering that name. Femme Rosa collection, and this is the She palette. I bought this sort of on a whim, which I had been wanting it for a while, but I've been really working on trying to save money, and so I was like, Hannah, you don't need it. You have 100 eyeshadows, just leave it, just don't buy it. But look at it. First of all, it absolutely wins the award for most adorable packaging I've ever seen in my entire life, ever. It's even rather durable. It feels durable to me. It's got a magnetic closure, which this isn't a review. I'm just raving about the palette already. This is the first time I used it on my eyes, but I love it already. So the more I thought about it, the more I wanted it. I am very glad that I got my hands on it. It's about 16 bucks, which the Colourpop singles are $4 or $5 a piece. They're like technically 5, but they've been on sale for 4 for like a really long time. So I don't know if they're like lowering the price or what's happening. But these shadows are smaller than their single shadows, which I will go into detail someday when I do another pan versus palette on the brand, which if you have not seen my first episode, I will link it up there in the cards for you. So I decided to go ahead and do one of these double whammies where I show you 2 looks using one palette. This right here is the first look, and then this is the second look. I will leave timestamps down below for each look. That way if you don't want to see the first one, you just want to see the second one, then you can go ahead and skip around as you wish. So for this first look, I kind of went with like a half cut crease, and I usually do, when I do tutorial type videos, I usually do one eye off of camera and then one eye on camera, so then you can kind of see like where we're headed, and it also helps me a lot in editing. But I always do my right eye on camera because I'm right-handed. It's just easier for me, and I swear to goodness the eye that I do off camera always turns out better than the eye I do on camera. So I sincerely apologize for that, but this is the eye I did off of camera. I said my crease shades way too stinking high on this eye. I did not show you guys my face makeup in this video, just because since there's 2 looks in one video, I didn't want to include my face makeup because it would just be way too long and it would be super duper uber boring. All I did was my eyes, my lashes. I didn't do my brows, my lips, nothing else but the eyes on camera. So if you want to know what's on the rest of my face, I will leave it in a list down below in case you're wondering what I'm wearing. So if you want to see how I got to this little look number 1, then let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright, so I'm starting off just by priming my eyes, of course. I'm using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eye Primer, and then I will set that in place with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder in the shade Warm Light. That way everything blends nicely on top of it and my shadows last all day long. Dipping into the palette, I'm going to take the shade Deer. Just a little itty bitty bit, as you can see, on a really big fluffy blending brush, and just start buffing that in my crease. And then once I have less product on my brush, I will start to move my brush upwards. Then grabbing Missy, I am going to take that on a much more defined sort of pencil brush almost, and place that in my crease as well. A little bit more defined, a little bit more tucked in. Going back and forth between a precise brush and a fluffy brush to blend it out. Add more pigment, blend it out, add more. Grabbing just a little bit more Deer, I'm going to place that in the crease as well, just to blend out the edges of that Missy color. Now I'm picking up Damsel, this sort of grapey, deep sort of purple, and I'm placing that on my outer corner with a pencil brush. Now I'm mixing Missy and Damsel together, just placing this on the outer corner and then blending it out with a fluffy blending brush once again. Now to cut the crease, of course, I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair Beige. I grabbed that on a little itty bitty angled brush and just began to sort of carve out that shape that I'm going for. And of course, stopping about 2/3 of the way into my eye. Now I'm picking up Dainty. It's a beautiful sort of mauvey, purpley, metallic goodness shade. I love it. And I'm just placing that right over top of the concealer. Once again, I'm grabbing Missy and Damsel, placing that on the outer corner just to blend that line together between the lid shade and the outer corner shade. Now I'm grabbing Missy, and this I think is what really creates that sharp cut crease. I'm taking Missy on another angled brush, and I just sort of drag it along the crease. That way you can really see the contrast between my lid shade and where the crease cuts. Then I'm grabbing the shade Ladylike, and I'm going to place that on sort of like the inner third of my eyelid. I just sort of wanted to bring a little bit more brightness to the inner corner. Now I'm cleaning up the edge with a makeup wipe. Then I just grabbed my Stargazer powder and I went ahead and highlighted my brow bone with that just because there's no plain white matte shade in the palette. Now I'm grabbing just a plain black eyeshadow. This one happens to be from the Naturally Pretty palette by IT Cosmetics. I'm placing that on the inner part of my lash line. This is just to help my falsies blend in a little bit better. Now I'm grabbing my favorite mascara of all time, Maybelline Lash Sensational, and placing a coat of that all over my lashes. And then for falsies, I'm using these gorgeous Pure Lashes. They are in the style Bombshell, and they are so stunning, so wispy, so dramatic. I love them. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up my face, and then I will be back to finish the eyes. Grabbing Dear, again, I'm just taking that on a plain old shader brush and I'm gonna buff that on my lower lash line, keeping the most pigment towards the outer corner. And then I'm mixing Missy and Damsel once again on a pencil brush and buffing that on the very outer edge of my lash line. Blending that all out with a fluffy blending brush, of course, and then I will highlight my inner corner with Ladylike. Finishing off with a coat of mascara, and then that completes the first look. And for the second look, I decided to go for something a little bit more warm, sort of grungy as we sort of start easing into fall, hopefully quicker. I went with a little bit of a halo eye as well as no falsies and no liner. I just wanted to keep it simply mascara. I think it looks great with no falsies. I really feel like falsies just sort of pull together a look, really complete the look, but I sure as heck don't wear falsies every day, and I know a lot of you also never wear falsies. So I wanted to keep it a little bit more simple today with just plain old mascara. I also wanted to keep this look very rounded as opposed to the previous look was very sharp and cut and winged out. I wanted this one to be a lot more rounded, and so you'll see me really focusing on not taking my shadow past this point on my outer corner. I really wanted to keep it nice and circular. So if you want to see how I got look numero dos, then let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm priming my eyes the same way that I primed my eyes for the first look. Now I'm grabbing the shade Duchess, and I'm using a sort of more tapered blending brush to buff this back and forth in my crease. Again, I'm trying to keep it very rounded. Now I'm grabbing Dear once again, and I'm going to buff that in my crease as well, a little bit more defined. And again, once I have less product on my brush, I will start to move it upwards. Now I'm grabbing a fluffy blending brush with absolutely nothing on it, and I'm just using that to blend out the edges. Taking some more Dear, I'm placing that on the inner and outer corners just to serve as sort of a base for these shades that we're gonna go in with next, which are Gal and Philly, the sort of more reddy toned metallic shades in the palette, and I pop those on my inner and outer corner to create that sort of halo. Now I'm mixing the two most purpley shades, Empress and Damsel. One is matte and one is metallic. And I really only did this to really create some of that depth. I wanted to really deepen up the outer and the inner corners. So then I would just layer Damsel and Empress, the two purples, underneath Gal and Philly, the two reds. And I would just go back and forth until it looked mostly red, but a deeper red, if that makes sense. Then I picked up a little bit more of the shade Damsel, and I just dragged that through my crease ever so slightly to finish off that sort of halo shape. Then I grabbed the shade Chick on my finger and I placed that all over the lid. And then I decided to mix Chick with Ladylike on a fluffier sort of shader brush and place that all over the center of my lid as well. And then of course I would go in with my inner and outer corner shades and deepen them up just a little bit, make sure that the lines are all nice and blended. Now I'm grabbing Ladylike to highlight my brow bone. Then I'm gonna curl my lashes, pop on some mascara. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do my face so that way I can come back and finish up my eyes. I'm grabbing the shade Ladylike once again and highlighting my inner corner with that shade. Now I'm grabbing Dear and I'm gonna buff this along my lower lash line. Now I'm grabbing Gal, and I'm gonna buff that on my lower lash line as well, keeping it more focused on the very outer edge of my lower lash line. And then of course, running a blending brush over everything just to make sure everything is nice and diffused and seamless.
Now I'm grabbing the shade Get Paid. This is a Colourpop Creme Gel Liner. It's a beautiful metallic rose gold. And I'm adding that to my waterline. I thought it fit this look nicely. Again, just popping on a coat of Lower Lash Mascara, and that completes look number 2.
So that's everything for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any future videos of mine, and I will see you guys next time. My medicine alarm is harsh in my vibe. Oh my god, I need to freaking prime my eyes. Dummy. That's messy. See if I can fix this business. You know what? I think that may have been a mistake. I love this song. This song makes me so emotional. I had a family friend who passed away of breast cancer, and this was her song, man. She loved this song. Manipulate my decision. Oh my god, that lead just hit me in the eye. Oh my god. I just got scared exactly like my mom gets scared. She always jumps and then keeps flailing. I need to write down what I'm wearing on my face because otherwise I'll forget.